The Square Ball Podcast.
Deep into the international break then. 11 of the Leeds first team stars away with their prospective nations. Bit of doom scrolling on Twitter. It's now a little bit less about who we might sign and more about who might have picked up an injury that rules them out for the whole season. That'll be fun. Did you watch them slipping about on the pitch, by the way, in Wales? We'll get to that in a minute or two. Leeds women kept the brand going with a late 3-2 defeat to Middlesbrough. Oh, last I checked, they were in front. And Eddie Gray unveiled a blue plaque in Raploch in Scotland outside his former teammate and legendary Leeds captain Billy Bremner's childhood home. That's this week in Leeds United. So where do you want to start with the rain?
I didn't see the rain, so tell me about the rain.
Very wet, lots of it. Made for Sunday League conditions almost. There were great echoes of Sunday League, like mud-spattered kits. Montenegro against Wales, which the Welsh won 2-1. Carl Darlow looking very safe and secure at the back for Wales.
Was it really?
Yeah, I watched it on S4C, the Welsh language channel, which was an education. Yeah, but then occasionally they would drop in an English word, because I think, who was it that was once telling us this, that Welsh essentially is like it's a fixed language. It might have even been Bryn Law, I think, maybe. I don't know. But Welsh is like a fixed language and no new words get developed in it. It's like an ancient language. So you just there's no word for that. You just drop in the English. So it's like organised chaos. Things like that. It was great.
Oh, nice.
So it was a learning experience as well as watching football. Two of my favourite things.
You say learning experience. Which Welsh words have you learned, sorry?
No, I'm just in the early stages at the minute.
Yeah.
Just picking up knowledge.
Fair dues.
Yeah.
I think I know one Welsh word, and I'm going to say it, and you guys have to guess what it is. Pop de ping.
Oh, everyone knows that one.
Oh.
It's the microwave, isn't it?
Yeah, classic. I love it.
Pop de ping.
Pop de ping.
That's great.
Does what it says on the tin, sort of.
Yeah. Craig Bellamy, always a big favourite at Leeds United. He's now coaching Wales. But they were all right. They drew 0-0 with Turkey and then they won at Montenegro.
Got rid of their own bald fraud, didn't they? Rob Page.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say the away end. It wasn't even the away end. The behind the goal bit had shades of Chelsea 1980, car parking behind one of the goals. The other one where the big VAR screen went, because it was the Nations League, everyone's got VAR. There was just a big scaffold had been erected. And you know, when they want to hold something down, they put those sort of cube water tanks in the bottom of them and just fill them with water. That was just holding the whole thing down in this wind and rainstorm.
Sounds like the sort of thing I'd have constructed.
It did bring to mind exactly the sort of thing that you would do. And you've been doing your soil management, an update there on the soil management.
Yeah, soil arrived yesterday.
And you did a full John Charles. Explain that, yeah.
I did. I moved about 17 tons of soil, I believe.
So you've gone Charles plus one.
Charles plus one.
Right.
Better than I did things John Charles could never achieve.
What are you trying to bury in your garden?
Done them. It's actually a very thin spread of the soil, but
right.
it's a levelling project.
Because of all the land?
Because of all the
acres.
It disappears over the horizon. The serfs are still working, still tilling the soil for me.
Are you going to take a picture a la Jake Humphries, where you just take a picture of your beautiful, enormous garden, but say, the value of hard work of laying your own soil, ladies and gentlemen?
It's none of your hard work, though, is it?
It's my hard work.
It's not. You married well.
The soil's my work.
Yeah, well, okay.
And some of the work was done at ITV.
I'll tell you what, you can tell it's the international break when 5 minutes in, we're getting a soil update from Michael Normanton.
I mean, to be fair, he did give me chapter and verse on this last night, and I was genuinely impressed. Like 17 tons of soil is quite a lot to be moving.
I'm fucked. I've got to be honest.
Is it actually 17 tons?
Well, those big, I think they're ton bags, the big bags that builders merchants deliver in. Yeah, it's 17 of them delivered. Two were gravel, 15 were soil.
Right.
What feels heavier, gravel or soil? A ton of?
Certainly when you dig in it, gravel feels a lot heavier.
Right.
It's very hard to get. You've got to really jam the spade in.
But they'll never find those bodies then, no?
Never.
Good stuff. Yeah, Carl Darlow looked all right at the back for Wales. I thought there was a very interesting moment where he nearly got chipped from the halfway line and the Montenegro player hit the bar. And what Darlow did, I don't know if you saw the clip of this, he realised it'd been done and he stopped running back to chase it and kind of went, and then it bounced off the bar and then he had to set off running again because I think it bounced back into play, potentially. But that was exciting.
Maybe he's all right when they're not passing into him in awkward positions, because that's when he's looked at his worst for us.
Well, I was going to say that the pitch was very, very heavy. There was genuinely loads of standing water on it. And you've obviously got Rodon and Ampadu there in front of him. There was a moment where Ampadu took a ball right to the face and he was laid out on the ground, and I thought, oh no, here we go. But
he got up.
He was running around afterwards, yeah. So
that's good.
Hopefully all good. Did we get any injuries that we're aware of, by the way?
Willie Nonto went off injured. didn't he, in the under-21s game against San Marino?
But he was doing that finger clicky thing though at the point, like him and Georgie did it a lot. So he'd go down and he'd kind of go the old booyaka shot.
Booyaka shot, yeah, I believe is why they do it.
Yeah, but he used to do that if he didn't get a throw in he wanted, Willie. So I wouldn't read too much into that.
I took it as a sign that everything was all right. If you can do the finger thing, it's not necessarily that hurting.
But if you do that with a pained look on your face, it's like you're trying to So he could go either way.
Yeah, I saw the challenge. He got his foot sort of stood on as he passed the ball. His ankle was turned a little bit and he got the side of his foot stood on. But, I mean, it was against San Marino. So. Yeah,
and boots are made of like sugar paper these days, aren't they? They're not robust things like they were when we were lads.
Nailed on studs.
Ilya Gurev played twice for Bulgaria. They beat Northern Ireland, Bailey Peacock Farrell's Northern Ireland, no less.
Yeah, I mentioned the ball back passes struggling with. It wasn't a great moment for Bailey.
He did another boo-boo.
He did. Well, it was sort of his fault. Also, I'm kind of blaming the defender, actually, because he passes to the defender and it's like he's never received a pass before. Just stands and looks at it for about 5 seconds and then they get in and cross and score. But it's nice to see Bailey's confused face because it's such a familiar thing.
I'm just returning to Willie Nonto. Do you see he got a little bit of heat? He copped a little bit of heat for using his phone on the bench. The Italian boomer's not impressed. No. Get off your phones, kids. He was just having a quick game of Candy Crush to pass the time. He ain't got the attention span to watch a full 45 minutes of football, has he, these days?
They were winning 7-0. What's he supposed to do? Really be hugely invested? No.
Just texting the staff at Leeds, wasn't he, saying, I'm all right, don't worry.
It's San Marino.
Right.
The guy who injured him doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. And when he doesn't even appear to have a club on anything I could find. It says he plays for San Marino Academy.
Yeah, but you want to be focused at such a big local derby, don't you?
I suppose.
I liked how the Italian manager came out in his defence, though. Was like, don't worry about it. Leeds asked if he was injured. He was like, nah, I'm fine, mate. Yeah. Like, he could have easily have amplified that situation, but he just went, nah, leave him alone. He's a kid texting.
Like, I was going to say, schools these days, they have like no phone, they have blanket bans on phones, no phone policy. I wonder if it's the same with international football. Maybe for the under-21s. It's closer to being like a bit like a school.
And willing on to a schoolboy sized as well.
Yeah.
It would be different if he got subbed at Ellen Road and then he was caught on Snapchat on the bench. That would be different. But in a 7-0 routine win for the under-21s where it looks like he's been injured, I get it.
Who's your favourite schoolboy?
The cranky one.
I was thinking of that.
I knew you were going to say
little Jimmy Cranky.
She's the only real one. Yeah. He is the only real famous schoolboy. You've played a schoolboy, Dean?
I have, yeah.
Famously.
Of course, you were in Waterloo Road, weren't you?
I was, yeah. I was 18, though, at the time, whereas she was in her 50s or something when she played little Jimmy Cranky, or whatever his name was.
So you were an adult dressing up as a schoolboy?
Yeah, I don't repeat that now. I don't repeat that kind of behaviour now. It was when I was getting paid to do it. But I was only 18.
You can find people who would probably pay you to do it now.
Probably, yeah, on the specific websites.
More into the adult baby stuff these days.
Yeah. The further away I get from being a teenager, my playing age is going the other way.
Yeah, fair play. Yeah.
Speaking of local derbies, let's get back on message. Brendan Aronson played against Jesse Marsh's Canada for the United States of America, USMNT, I believe the cool kids call it, and they lost 2-1. And it's given Jesse a little bit of willy-waving opportunity, that, hasn't it?
It's hard to know who to be happy for her, isn't it? Because while the USMNT people did irritate me on Twitter, I sort of don't want Jesse doing well. So I feel like a draw would have been the best result in this one.
No, I think I wanted the USMNT to win this because I looked at the starting lineups. Weston McKennie wasn't in the US team. Brendan was, who is obviously our little darling American boy now. And so I thought, right, I want these boys to win. And then I checked in the next day with the result. I was fuming. Yeah,
they're in a weird spot though, aren't they? Because there's kind of... What's going on with Pochettino? They're sort of waiting for him.
I think it's now just being signed off, but it seems to have been signed off after this game. I'd assumed he was coaching this game. But there were discussions, I think, about picking up his salary because Chelsea being the absolute basket case that it is, I think they're still paying him.
Right. Well, we're still probably paying Jesse.
I don't think so. Not now he's got a new job.
He's got another job.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it was a good time.
He said he'd much rather coach Canada than the United States, didn't he? You can do Jesse, can't you?
Yeah. Do you want me to do this?
If you want to read, there's a quote here we've got, actually, if you just have a look on the notes.
Yeah. So if you close your eyes, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching this or if you're listening, I'm so sorry to bring back these memories. I'd much rather coach Canada than the US right now. You can see the mentality that's being developed. You can see the way this team plays. You can see how much they love playing for the national team, and they're willing to put their careers and lives and the way they play on the line to be the best they can be for each other and the team.
I enjoyed the little wobbles in there.
But when you're doing Jesse, you have to put stress into his voice because he tells everyone he's not stressed, but he is absolutely stressed. There's a couple of greatest hits in here, I think, where he talks about mentality. Mentality was always his big thing. And also he's slightly distancing himself from them because he's using the word they and their a lot. It's like, it's those guys, it's not me. If a better job comes up, I'm out of here.
Ao Tanaka came off the bench. Japan beat China. Those two guys famously always get on, I believe, historically, Japan and China. 7-0. They've got Bahrain. That's Tuesday night, so after we record.
Yeah.
That's how time works, isn't it?
I hope he doesn't play.
Right.
I hope none of our players play, is the truth. In international breaks, I just want them all to have a nice rest.
See Mateo Joseph's goal off the bench for Spain 21s? That was good,
nice.
wasn't it?
That was nice.
You can see the
nice bit of movement.
PSR profit there. Whoa, we can crystallise some PSR profit. That's exciting.
Champions again. Champions again.
Of the PSR League.
That'll be the one. Yeah, but I suppose if we do end up having to sell a striker, we've got another.
Yeah, that is true, yeah. Number 3 up front, which is a combination I think we need to see. That'll please the purists. Junior Firpo up front for Dominican Republic. Because I saw the FOTMob graphics or equivalent thereof when these teams were announced. I was like, surely that's not right, because Junior Firpo appears to be in the centre forward position. But it happened.
Classic school football rules. Put your best player up front.
Yeah. Where did you play?
Right back.
Right. That's about as far away from the...
Keep him away from the goal. Yeah. No, that's... I mean, maybe it's a bit different now because of... Like, Dani Alves came and Roberto Carlos existed and they did exciting stuff at fullback. But in the 90s in Britain, fullback was your... Turns up every week, does his told position, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
Short lad. Stand on the post for corners. Do not pass the halfway line. But thank you for coming. We appreciate you.
I like how they didn't give him the number 9 or change his shirt number at all. They were like, you're number 3, but you're going to play up front. It just reminds me of those times we've seen him just wandering various positions on the pitch at Ellen Road going, what is Junior doing there? But this time legitimised. They stuck him up front. Although I did check and he didn't get a goal or an assist. So I think that the other Dominican players are jealous of him and just passing between each other. And he's going to be stood there going, give me the ball, I'll score.
A 3-2 win over Bermuda. That sounds like a really nice time, doesn't it? Going after the Caribbean, man.
Sounds nice. It does remind me a bit of when, I mentioned this a while ago, there's a Doncaster Rovers documentary when everything's completely going to shit there, the ownership's a mess and stuff, and there's a guy called Danny Bergara in charge, and one of the things he's done to try and confuse the opposition is to put people in weird shirt numbers. So, for example, he would have like a number 3 up front, but then he's forgotten he's done it, and he's confused as to where people are playing, and he's shouting at people to get back in position, and someone else on the bench has to go, no, you did that thing with swapping the numbers. And he just sort of goes, all right, fine.
Didn't Cantona once play up front for us in the number 2 shirt?
Yes, it was after Mel Sterland was injured, wasn't it? So he took the number 2 shirt because everybody else was in their normal 1 to 11 positions. Yeah, I think it must have been the very, very end of the title winning season.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
And famously, did he start that Norwich game at the end of the season in the 14 shirt because Strachan had his 7 shirt but was on the bench because he was basically broken. His back was knackered at that point. And that was allowed to happen. I think they got permission from the Football League or whatever to swap the sub numbers around. I know it wouldn't happen these days, would it, with squad numbers? But it did. I want to, by the way, put forward, I don't even know if it's a nomination or we just say it now. Well, we will do Hero of the Week later in the week. Marcelo Neverlef tells me, Wikipedia tells me, the head coach of Dominican Republic's national side, for setting Junior free, putting him in his natural home.
Give the people what they want.
Yeah.
What's he called again?
Marcelo Neverlef.
Neverlev. Where's he from?
Neverlef is an Argentine football manager who manages the Dominican Republic national football team.
Oh, I found his wiki. That's very brief.
Yeah, that's all it says. I've read it. I've just read it all, but there are 12 citations for that next to that, so that seems like a pretty much nailed on fact. And in brackets it says there afterwards, excessive citations.
Well, there you go.
So someone's upset at Wikipedia HQ. Big encyclopedia's furious at that.
Never left old boys. There you go. Well done to him for seeing. Maybe he's our next manager. Although he is a bold fraud by the looks of it.
Mm.
So do we need another? Who knows?
What else have we got then from the international roundup stuff to talk about? Because we've got some stuff just out on the fringes. Max Verber, for example, he's found his home again. Would you believe it?
Same as the old home.
Couldn't wait to get out of here when we went down. But now look at him. It's like, Leeds is a perfect fit for me, this. Never mind playing in the top division in like Germany or whatever. I want to play in the second tier of English football.
You just have to say this kind of thing, don't you? If someone's shoving a microphone under his face and saying, so you're back at Leeds, he's not going to be able to talk in the way he maybe wants to talk. So he's got to bring out a few of these tropes. Perfect for me. I never said I absolutely wanted to leave. They absolutely is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. Lots of heavy lifting. I accepted this challenge, but I know it won't be easy to work my way back into the same position as before. Yeah, because you're looking at it and you've got Pascal Stout, who has been brilliant for the first 4 games.
Big, sexy,
and
looks like a pirate.
There we go. And so he's gonna struggle. But what I really like about this kind of quote is, what did the journalist think he was gonna say? You know, when the journalist says to Max, "So you're back at Leeds? What do you think?" Is he hoping Max to go, "Fucking hell, what a dump, what a shithole"? But we've tried every league you could possibly dream of, and nothing worked. What does he think is going to happen? It's clearly going to be this. I'm still not. I still don't like him.
No, same. He's got a long way to go.
A long way.
It's remarkable how how old is he? Is he like 25, 26? Something like that. He's a young man relative to where I am these days. But I sometimes look at him and I think, you look like an old woman.
Yeah, well, part of the thing when he signed was
he looks like a grandma.
He just, I never thought like a grandma.
He's got the face of a at least twice his age old lady.
What do you mean?
Not that I'm not suggesting like 50 or 52 is an old lady, but he's got an old lady's face.
It's very much in your wheelhouse these days.
Yeah. There's no Wayne Rooney shenanigans now. I'm right there.
Because if he looks like a middle-aged woman, could he successfully dress up as Jimmy Cranky?
Maybe.
There we go.
Or would one undo the other because he's actually a young man? Might look weird. Anyway,
what was the Robin Williams film where he dressed up as the
Mrs. Doubtfire?
That's what I'm thinking.
Cool.
Halloween's around the corner.
Good work.
Let's get it done.
Anyway, he did play for Austria. They lost because Haaland.
Was it his fault?
Because Haaland exists.
Yeah,
and scored.
They're playing a challenging game again tonight, Tuesday, against Kazakhstan. We haven't even mentioned England at all up to this point, who beat the Republic of Ireland over the weekend. It's a shame, isn't it? How and I mean this genuinely, how the distance has grown between the two nations, because it was a bit of a walk in the park for the most part. Was that for England? It was nice to finally see England trying to attack and get the best out of their attacking
for the first
players.
half, anyway.
Yeah,
it was a weird. I must admit, it was a weird game. Ireland seemed to have set up as if they were San Marino, and I think they'd completed 50 passes in that first half at Ireland. It was bad.
Just get it and boot it forward.
I don't know who their manager is, but they should sack him because that was bad.
They should appoint Lee Carsley.
I think they tried.
Because if they did, he might sing the anthem.
They did try.
Right.
They did try. I couldn't give a fuck about him singing the anthem, to be clear.
No, who cares? I put on my Instagram, I sat down and I watched the first half of the England game, and then I realised that I've got some sort of amnesia when it comes to watching England. I kind of get a little bit of excitement. Oh, there's some football on the telly. And I switch it on, and then I realise really quickly that my brain has just deleted all this information about how shit it is watching England. And you just put yourself through it again and again and again. It's almost like the amnesia that you get at the start of a Leeds United season, thinking this will be fine, this will be great, everything will be okay, and we're going to romp the league. But with the England game in particular, yeah, we strung a few nicer moves together, but so much of that, even the first half, was just us knocking it around in the middle. Nobody was pressing us. It's not good football.
No,
I don't think.
I enjoyed it more. And I'm the same as you. Like, I need some football. Because as soon as the international break comes around, I go, all right, it's too soon in the season. I'm not happy about that. I'd rather we carried on building the momentum that Leeds are carrying on building now. But also I appreciate just having a weekend off from, sort of doing match ball and I like being at the games, but also I like the breaks when they come around as well. Because Leeds United, quite frankly, drives us mad.
I'm thinking of getting more into soil.
Right.
Maybe ultimately at the expense of Leeds.
But I was going to say anyway, so the game comes around, I go, well, do you know what? I'm going to watch it and try and get into it. And I was into it more than the Southgate era because they tried to attack, and I was interested, like from a curiosity point of view, whether they would set out in a more attacking way because Carsley had talked it up. And they did. It was better.
Is this just new season stuff, though?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Just to check.
But they did look genuinely better, more ambitious, trying to stick balls in behind the Irish defence and have people running onto it. Things that you would expect the English team to do. Harry Kane, for example, looked more like a striker rather than somebody who was bored and just having to run 50 yards back that way to try and get involved in the game because they're tippy-tapping it about and going nowhere.
I liked the storylines around Rice and Grealish scoring against their former country. It's the most bizarre scenario where you've got somebody not celebrating a goal because they used to play for him at international level.
Yeah, which I don't think I've ever seen that before, ever. It happens obviously at club level, but it's not often you get to change nationality, isn't it?
Matteo Joseph, would he celebrate against England under 21s? Or was it the under 19s or 20s he played for? I can't remember. He definitely represented England at some level, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Dean, you and I don't know about you, Michael, but we've genuinely got dilemmas to deal with here because you're of Irish heritage and English as well. I've got a quarter Irish in my background. I don't know who I'm going to select when the call comes.
Well, yeah, my mum is Irish. Like she's not it's not grandparents and stuff. So I'm half Irish technically. I've got an Irish passport for when Brexit really comes in and solidifies things, so that I can get out of here. But because I support Leeds, I support England, and I don't know what that logic is. It's just because Leeds is in England, maybe. But whenever Ireland are in major tournaments, I always really want them to do well, just because I know the piss up would be good.
Yeah, and I always do as well. But that's probably Gary Kelly, Ian, historical thing, like Jack Charlton and so on and so forth.
As well, my first World Cup I properly remember was 94, and obviously England weren't there, and Ireland were, and they had, well, Gary Kelly was in the squad, I think, wasn't he? But didn't play. But Jack Charlton was the manager.
Jack Charlton getting really angry on the touchline.
Yeah, it was fun.
With John Aldridge in the heat and stuff like that. Yeah.
It was good watching him beat Italy. Yeah. I enjoyed it a lot.
Liam Cooper, have you seen this move that he's making? It looked like he was going to stay somewhere in the industrial north, be it Hull or Blackburn or something like that. And you thought, it makes sense, doesn't it, from a commuting and family point of view. So obviously nobody expected to see him rock up in Sofia.
The Soviet Union. That's where he's going.
Right. Behind
to play for the
Iron Curtain?
Army team? CSKA isn't it, I think?
Yeah.
Interesting move. I'm kind of pleased. I like to see a real unusual move. It's like when Barry Douglas went to play in Poland. I know he played there before, but I was like, good.
I like it. It's imaginative. It doesn't feel like they've just got a map and thrown a dart at it of the UK. It feels like this move may have been constructed a little bit more thoughtfully. The thing that I keep thinking about, though, is how's he going to get on in Bulgaria with his accent? They're not going to be able to understand him.
No. Might be for the best. The nickname of CSKA Sofia is the Army.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and they are moving into the new Bulgarian Army Stadium. I think it's under construction by the looks of it. So that's what Wikipedia says. So does point to their historic origins.
But I think the thing seems to have been a 2-year contract, if the stories are to be believed, whereas Hull and Blackburn were looking at more one-stroke pay-as-you-play type incentive-y led stuff, and maybe he's just gone, I quite fancy 2 years in Sofia, because why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I mean, a nice adventure at this stage in his life. CSKA Sofia, they have all sorts of different teams. They've got football, volleyball, basketball, hockey, water polo, handball. Was it
you we were discussing the idea that maybe he was waiting to see if Max Verber escaped, so then he could sign another year at Leeds?
It wasn't my thing.
Was it not? Someone was saying maybe he's just hanging around in case somehow, because I think the Saudi and the Turkish transfer windows were still open. So he's like, well, if he manages to slip out at the last minute, we can just go, Coops, actually, we'll have you back for the season. Yeah, they do. But they have boxing teams, weightlifting, rowing, judo, wrestling, shooting. Get involved in all these things, can't he? So imagine, give Coops a gun. Well, if this goes through, this really does then put the onus, I think, onto the club to make a bit of a fuss of him, because he deserves it. You know, you talk about their nicknames, the Army. He's been a great soldier for us over the years. Very nice. I think they are waiting until he signs somewhere else, by the way, before they give him a send-off, because people have been saying they've not said a word about him, and if he's leaving, it's just because he's not got a club yet. They're just waiting. But he has left. That's been the weird thing. Yeah. Unless they've been waiting to see where he goes so they can slag him off. Yeah. Because he was training with Derby at one point, wasn't he, I think? So maybe if they were going to just not mention it if he went signed for them. Just be like, still bitter. Finally then, Eddie,
it's always a treat to see him smiling, isn't it? And he's been pictured next to Billy Bremner's plaque on a wall. The wall, it's been put up in Stirling. Not the wall, it's been there a while. The plaque has been put up on the wall that's in Stirling. And the red brick there very much reminds me, it's very reminiscent of South Leeds, actually, because when I first saw it, I didn't kind of automatically clock what was going on. And I thought, they put that up in Beeston or Beeston Hill or something like that.
Yeah, but no, it's always, I just love Eddie. Just love his face.
Yeah.
Any age of Eddie Gray is a treat to see. But yeah, he was there for the unveiling of this plaque, which is it's not actually a Leeds United thing. It's the Scotland Football Supporters Association have kind of organised this thing, and there's going to be a statue as well, which is going in the town. Because
we did, there was a member show we did, and I think it was the silly knockout cup competition that we did, and one of the questions was who would make the best Santa Claus, and we all instantly answered Eddie, and you could imagine Eddie dressed up as Santa at Christmas, couldn't you? I
think maybe he was the best ice cream man as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just good at everything.
Man of many talents, a kindly gent.
Well, let's have something for Eddie Gray at Ellen Road soon, please.
This is what I was just going to say, right? So when something like this happens, beautiful blue plaque to commemorate the life of Billy Bremner, but it does really bring home to me that we should be telling people, we should be showing people that you love them whilst they are still here to appreciate that as well.
See Howard Wilkinson.
Yeah. Howard Wilkinson, Eddie Gray, because Norman Hunter and Jack Charlton when they died a few years ago, I'm sure they knew how much they were loved by the Leeds fans, but it would have been really nice to have some sort of official celebration of them before it's too late. And that goes for people in our kind of personal circles as well. But on a football level, you really hope that the people who have been our heroes and who are our heroes know it to the level that they should do, so that they can appreciate the impact that they've had. Before it's too late, before it has to be commemorative. I think it's important, and that's what, when I saw this picture of Eddie with the blue plaque, I was like, we need to tell that guy, we need to show that guy.
Yeah, I think in blue plaque wall Pontefract, Michael Normanton, 2024, moved some soil.
It was epic, I have to say.
Congratulations, I'm proud of you. We'll be back with another update later in the week. Then, anything going to happen between now and then? Do you think?
Angus is popping in soon.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
He was Chief Executive of Leeds United Football Club.
Yep, he's going to come in and say hello.
All right, let's...
We won't be beating him with socks full of gravel, as some people have suggested.
Might be a little bit more civilised than that, but yeah, look out for that one later in the week. So we'll catch you then. See you soon.
The Square Ball Podcast.